Hey, all right. You're listening to the Deadman's Tome podcast, a show broadcast live from a trailer park deep in the heart of Meth County, Texas. I'm your host, Mr. Deadman. With me is Tammy G, the lovely Tammy G. And tonight our guest is Mark Justice. How's it going, Mark?
Pretty good. How are you guys?
I'm doing all right.
I'm okay.
Tammy, are you okay? Are you doing okay? Because you missed like 2-3 days.
I think I'm dying, but I'm here making the best of it.
Well, that kind of is going to happen if you get pretty close to Michael Myers like the way you've been. I mean, you probably caught something.
It's worth it.
It's worth it? It's worth it?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. No real announcements tonight. I would just say, if you like the show, press the like button, share, subscribe. I do have the $1 shout out and the $5 for shots. It's a Thursday night, but I'll leave that up there for anyone interested. Anyway, Mark Justice, who are you and what do you do?
Well, I'm still trying to figure out who I am, but as far as what I do, I'm a full-time filmmaker, actor, producer, director, writer, kind of an all over the place, just make films kind of guy.
I like that. I like it. You're honest. I'm still trying to figure out who I am. That's the honest answer, right? Because who really knows who they are, right?
I don't.
Yeah,
Not yet.
Being an actor just confuses you a hell of a lot more.
Oh man, now I'm open to more questions. I can imagine. Like how do you handle that?
Oh man, you know what? It's for me, it's like just getting a vacation. Every time I step into a character, I'm just like, you know what? I'm giving up beaches and sandy and sunny trips to experiment with the emotions of someone else.
Ah, look at that. I like that. That's cool. All right. So how long have you been a filmmaker?
Oh gosh, about 6 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
6 years. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, full time about 3 years, 2.5 years.
Okay. What got you in the industry?
Do you want the honest answer?
I do.
Okay, because even if I lied to you, it'd still be the same answer.
Oh, okay. Okay.
No, so I moved to Vegas in 2011, and I was waiting tables. I worked in the restaurant industry my entire life, and I came from being an executive chef, and I applied to wait tables because I figured I was at least qualified to do that here in Las Vegas. And one night I just happened to be waiting on a casting director, and he was like, "Hey, you have a good look. Have you ever thought about acting or modeling?" And being from rural Southern Ohio, I looked at the guy like he was stupid.
Yeah.
And said no. But when I got home that night, I did a little bit of research, and by way of Craigslist, I found a casting call for a show here on the Las Vegas Strip called Tony and Tina's Wedding. And I thought to myself, what the hell? I'm in a city where no one knows who I am. So I went and auditioned, and next thing you know, I'm playing the lead role in a show on the Las Vegas Strip for 2.5 years.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And you just took a chance on Craigslist like that. Now, could you still do that now in this day and age? Is Craigslist still reliable, or is it pretty dangerous?
I mean, I don't go to it anymore.
Yeah.
Even then, I was still a little weary, but the casting call looked, official and professional, and
that's good.
They have locations and everything, so I felt confident going, and it was inside a casino, so I wasn't too concerned.
Okay, that's good. Well, real fast though, you said you were a cook? You were a chef?
I was an executive chef before I left for Vegas. Yes.
No way! Look at that. You can cook. Like, what do you cook?
So I was running an Italian restaurant and a Cajun Americana restaurant. So, and etouffee and crawfish tots. Those were my favorite, actually.
You can cook, and I got some images here on the screen. You're not a bad-looking fella, and you can act. What can you not do, right? It's like the ladies must love you.
Get my life together.
Hey, that's all of us, though.
Oh, man.
I guess grow up really is the only thing, and I don't even want to do that. I just have so much fun playing.
What do you think about that, Tammy?
Growing up?
Yeah, growing up.
Who wants to do that? I mean,
See-
you know, in certain situations, yeah, but in general, no.
I mean, are you still
Right.
playing video games in your mom's basement?
No, I play them wherever I want now because I have Call of Duty on my
See?
cell phone.
That's good. That's what you do now.
Yeah. It's 2019.
But you
Come on.
still play them.
Well,
Yes.
yeah. He said he
Got
still
it.
has to grow up, right? But he doesn't really want to.
Right. I mean, I got to pay the bills, but when I'm sitting on set for 8 hours, you know, and I actually worked with John Ratzenberger a couple years back, and one of the things that he told me, he said, you know, kid, he's like, they hire me, but they don't pay me to act. I do that for free. They pay me to wait.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that makes perfect sense because I mean, I love to act. I would do it for free. Sure, why not?
You know, that's one
You
thing.
have to pay me to wait for my turn.
That's one thing that I always thought about was like the downtime between your I guess between you do your thing. I mean, like, how do you pass the time? What do y'all do? I mean, is that it just seems like idle hands and a chance for, I don't know, anything to happen.
I mean, it depends on the set that I'm on, you know, and the character that I'm playing. If I have a more challenging character and, you know, and a lot of dialogue, obviously I'm studying the script and really just trying to get in the headspace of the character. If it's something fun and you know, kind of carefree and it's a little more loose, then, you know, I'll usually hang out on set and I like to interact with the crew. I know a lot of actors that don't. They just want to be alone. You know, if I get familiar and friendly with the crew, then I'll hang out with them and joke around and do all that good jazz. But yeah, it just depends on the set, you know.
Okay. Now, one thing I have to ask, because the image is still on the screen, how did you get this cut? I don't know if you can see the live stream now, but this the image where I don't know what is this for Bleach?
Is it the one where I look like I'm screaming like a Hugh Jackman Wolverine kind of?
This one you are ripped, like and you're just like
You're
staring.
you're topless, and it
Topless.
looks really nice.
You're just like
Do I have jeans on? I have jeans.
you probably you just can't see him right now.
Backward.
That's another angle.
And your face looks a little jacked up, a little bit like cut up,
Yeah,
maybe.
like you're ready to fight someone, like a UFC fighter.
Oh, okay. It's probably it. Looks like more of a boxing style picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was actually just something I had done. I got with one of my favorite photographers here in town, Yevgeny Zakharkin, and I had written a feature-length film called TKO. It was a boxing script, and
Okay.
I just wanted to do a photo shoot, so I'd have some stuff for my pitch packet, so I could send it off to investors and just have them, because I wanted to play the lead, obviously, and I needed them to know that I was capable.
TKO.
So that's all that was. Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
I mean that was a full film and everything, right?
No. It's
No?
not been shot. It's still
it
being
just
shopped around.
it just seemed like something I've seen before. It just reminded me of something. But yeah, so how did you get this cut?
We shot like it's a lot of like eating asparagus and basically cardboard and rice cakes.
Okay. Are you that cut
Yeah,
now?
I mean, I'm not too far off. No, you know, I didn't really go through diet phase, but I went through a 3.5-year relationship breakup, and and, you know, that'll
happen.
do it sometimes too. You know.
Okay.
Yeah, that usually helps, actually.
All right. So, in your filmmaking, what is your favorite film that you've worked on so far?
Oh, that's so tough. I get asked that question quite often, and it's so tough. But I always end up reverting back to Bleach.
Bleach.
You know, it was kind of my first lead role that I was cast in, and probably one of the most fucked up movies that I've worked on. And it was definitely some character in there that's nowhere near who I am as a person. So.
Okay.
That's probably my favorite.
Okay. Now, there's a lot of anime fans that come to this channel because they covered the Vic Mignogna. I don't know if you know who he is. Covered that situation a little bit. So when you say Bleach, you're not talking about like the anime. Do you know what that is anyway?
Yes, I actually often get asked if that's has something to do with it, but
Okay.
no, it's definitely not related.
Wait, let's see how much growing up you have to do. Do you still watch anime? Have you
I
ever?
never got into anime.
Okay, so
No.
there you go. You don't have to.
Me
You don't.
either. High
Don't have to,
five.
don't have to worry about that. I had to go to that
Yeah.
phase. Boy. Okay.
Never my thing.
Yeah. But okay, so tell us about Bleach. What's going on?
Well, Bleach is in the final stages of post production.
Yeah.
I think they're just finishing up some sound design on it. We have a picture lock. We've got the score done. All of that good jazz. We're doing some behind the scenes interviews and stuff. But September was five years since we started principal photography on it, and so I'm ready for it to come out. And then we're super close. And I just spoke with the executive producer a few weeks back, and they're super
Okay, that's cool.
close. So I'm hoping it might be a Christmas present this year.
Fingers crossed.
Is that going to be a good time for it to come out? At Christmas?
No, of course not. It's like a horror, psychological horror type film.
Yeah.
It's a pretty jacked up movie. Christmas isn't really a perfect time. It's definitely
No.
not a family movie.
No.
But
But for us horror fans, it's never a bad time.
exactly. It's like you hit it in the downtime, and you give people stuff to look forward to.
Right.
To kind of stretch from Halloween to Halloween.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's a break from all the Christmas stuff too. Some people
Right.
do that, like me, for instance. Like I get tired of all that stuff. Like just one Christmas Carol. That's all. I don't even need that actually.
You watch Hallmark from like now until after Christmas.
I don't do that anymore.
Oh.
I don't do that anymore, TMG.
Busted.
I don't. I got out of that phase.
Right.
Okay. It's
He grew
embarrassing.
up.
I grew up a little bit. Okay, kind of, sort of. I still have posters on my wall, but they're my book covers, man. So, yeah. Okay, but so what?
So
5?
What are you working on right now? Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say 6 years in the making. Does it normally take that long?
Being only in the industry for 6 years, I'm gonna say, most of the other stuff that I've worked on, no. It's usually a year, maybe 2 years by the time you see a finished product. Once it's done its festival run and all that good stuff. But yeah, definitely unorthodox. But there's been so much happen behind the scenes, and they did a lot of like BTS interviews and footage on it, because it's been a really wild ride, aside from shooting. So I think with a lot of the controversy that has happened off the camera, it will make for some interesting viewership for sure.
Okay, and from what I'm reading here, what Bleach is about a man that goes through extreme measures to attempt to stop the ghosts of the girls he murdered in a snuff film. So, like, how extreme do we get here?
Well, I don't want to spoil a lot, but I will say that there is knife insertion into the crotch region of one of the females.
God. Okay. Yeah. That's
Nice.
good.
Yeah, and
Nice.
then if you could imagine a knife being wound around, kind of like a meat grinder inside. Yeah.
Ooh.
So,
All right. That's
I'm not sure if you saw the picture that I posted on social media of me wearing like the yellow apron, and I'm like just covered in blood.
Mm-mm.
That's
you,
from
huh?
that scene.
That's you.
Yeah.
You strapped it on like a strap on, and just went to town. Is it like the scene from Seven? Kind of like that.
I'd say it's a little worse, but yes.
Worse. All right. Tara Reid's in this film. It wasn't Tara Reid, was it? I mean, I know.
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
No, Tara. She actually plays my mother in the movie.
How was that?
Yeah. It was interesting. We had a script the day that she showed up, and she read it, and she was just totally against staying on script. So the entire scene that she and I have together is improv, which is fun for me. I being not trained and getting into an immersive improv comedy show as my first ever acting gig. I am fully prepared, I believe. So I have fun with it, and it was a great time. It was hot, it was windy, it was out in the middle of the desert, but she was a trooper, and she definitely made it a pleasurable scene for sure.
And that would be interesting. Someone like Tara Reid as your mom, playing your mom. You didn't have any mixed thoughts, huh? Because that would have been like, okay, all right.
You know, maybe between cut and action. You know, I thought of the old Big Lebowski and American Pie days.
Yeah.
How could you not?
Old Bunny Lebowski.
Oh man. So I think Tammy wanted to ask what you were working on now. Sorry, Tammy, to have to mansplain.
Yeah, that's
like
what
that.
I wanted to ask, and then you cut me off.
I know, like a total jerk.
Damn it.
I'm sorry, Tammy. Did you want to ask me a question?
I did. I wanted to ask you what you're working on now.
Oh, well, actually, right now I'm helping produce a haunted attraction at Town Square right here on Las Vegas Boulevard in Las Vegas. We're going to be doing that until November 3rd. I leave for Ohio actually for a few days on Sunday to go do some pickup shots for a movie that I directed in Ohio in May. So we've got a couple of pickup days that I need to go do, and then I'll be back Wednesday just in time for the premiere of Lady Killer at the Palms.
Lady Killer. Now that.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
It's gonna be great.
All right.
So what was your most challenging role?
Honestly, I think the most challenging role is a project that I literally just worked on last week. It's a zombie film. It's a horror film. It's called Bridge of the Doomed. And pretty much all of my scenes were with Michael Pare and Robert Lasardo. And I play lieutenant in the military, and being a person who's never been in the military, I had to learn quite a bit in a quite short period of time, including you know how military guys when they're in uniform, they speak to their higher ups with kind of a cadence, if you will.
Yeah.
And so getting used to that and being crisp with my my salutes and just all of the movements and all of that, it was probably the most challenging for me. But in all, I mean, it was a great experience working with Michael Sue as the director, who also is one of the cinematographers and directors for Lady Killer. So he and I have a lot of history together. So he made it much easier than it probably would have been.
Okay. Yeah, and that's stuff you really have to master because you have to make it look authentic. I mean, you have to make it be as authentic as possible because the military guys watching that film, they're going to know, and they'll complain.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure. And we're lucky. We had a liaison on set who was there, kind of watching every take, and he would come up and be like, "No, he's like, you're not in Britain. Like, we don't show palms here." And he was going around making sure that hats were the way that they were supposed to be, and uniforms were crisp and looking like they were supposed to, and that we were properly handling the guns and stuff. So, it's probably not perfect, but it's probably a lot better than it would have been.
All right.
Yeah.
And that was your most challenging role. Okay. Now, what is the favorite character?
As far as
my
favorite character.
Yeah.
I think so far it's been playing Blackout in the Immortal Wars series.
Immortal Wars, okay.
Yeah, it's based on a comic book called Vanquishers. And I kind of play like I guess a cross between like a Kenshi and Daredevil kind of character. But it's based on like these deviants that have kind of taken over the world. They have like special powers, and they've been entrapped, and their Eric Roberts actually has kind of controlled this like gladiator style game where these deviants have to fight each other to the death for entertainment purposes. And so in the first one, it's more about that, and then in the second one, we've kind of escaped into the world, and are now kind of fighting for our own freedom.
So these like people with like special powers are like fighting each other like in UFC sort of thing, or is it like a battle to the death at first?
Yeah, it's a battle to the death, and it's there's a lot of variables as far as the locations are all spread out through the world, and they're kind of given these false environments to fight in.
Okay.
And it's all televised to the world.
Yeah, of course. You got to make a profit off it.
Right.
And this is based on a comic book series, you said, right?
Yeah. It's written by Joe Lujan, who also wrote the movies and directed them.
That's cool.
He does a lot of horror stuff. All
right. That's pretty badass.
Yeah, so that's probably the most fun character I've played. I think the most challenging part of playing that character was that my character was blind. So, I do a lot of martial arts and had a lot of fight choreography. So in learning all of that, I actually did it blindfolded so I could get used to like muscle memory and kind of like a dance.
No way. Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool.
That's awesome.
It was fun. It was probably a different kind of take on doing it, but it was something that I wanted to do just so I could not rely on having to see, because they ended up blindfolding me and then also throwing in the smoke machine. Like I literally couldn't see, so I was super happy that I learned it blindfolded.
Yeah, I mean the work plays off that way too, and I would imagine that's the way to do it. Like I don't know how. What's the guy's name who played Daredevil in the Netflix Daredevil? I don't know how he trained for it, but he must have been something kind of like that, because even when he fought, it looked legit. I don't know. It looked like a blind man fighting like that. That's crazy, but like I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
You still there? Wait,
Did we lose him?
I think we lost him just briefly. Mark, you still there?
it's once you stack the way the camera.
Okay.
It's cutting it out.
He's cutting in and out, yeah.
Mark?
I don't think he knows either.
No, I don't think it does.
Mr. Justice. I like that last name, by the way. It's like a judge. Mr. Justice. Mark Justice.
Yeah, I hear stuff about my name all the time that people are like, "Oh, that's a superhero name."
Oh, if you Google your name, it actually pulls up a justice. It pulls up a judge.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. I was like, what? This guy's not a judge, too, is he?
No. Nor am I the world champion of Magic: The Gathering.
Yeah, that's the other guy. I could open up with that joke. Are you a blue deck guy? Do you know anything about Magic: The Gathering?
Oh, do I?
Oh
I still
God.
have my
Okay, he
cards.
still has grown up to do. Wait a second. You still have a deck?
Oh yeah, I still have like 3 or 4 decks. I actually, my favorite deck was my worm deck.
Worm deck? Tammy, I don't know. He passed the anime part, but does he still have grown up to do? Just
I didn't say I actively play. I just still have my cards.
Yeah.
No, I think he's good.
The worm deck, was that green? What was worm? Was that black? I don't remember the worms.
Well, I mean, each color deck had
they had
had
their own
own
ones? Okay.
specialty worms. Yeah, so it was basically a combination deck.
Okay. Yeah. I just remember the blues. You always have to watch out for the blue decks. They're always annoying.
Oh yeah, all those magic spells, man.
Yeah. Annoying as fuck. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's
What
get
are
out
we
of this.
even talking about?
Let's
I don't
get
even
out
know
of this
what
nerd gutter. I'm sorry. Back out of this. But the internet does. That's the thing. All right.
I'm like, all right, I'll just stay here.
What role would you love to play?
Well, with the last name Justice, I think I gotta play a fucking superhero at some point in my life, right?
Do you think you could do a Judge Dredd?
I could do a Judge Dredd, although if I had a preference, it would probably either be Batman or Wolverine.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Which one over?
I can see both, definitely.
Yeah. I mean,
With your look.
here's. I think I have a Wolverine picture right here. I can see the
did I send
Wolverine.
you one?
Yeah, I can definitely see the Wolverine. You definitely look more frantic than more deranged than Hugh Jackman. I mean, you look like you're going mad. Gonna break someone's
It
face.
works though.
I do that one well. Yeah,
So
no,
how-
I've been cast as Batman in a series that we're doing. It's the Rise of Catwoman, and I'm playing Bruce Wayne Batman in that. So
Oh, nice.
So you're playing Batman.
yeah,
So if you're already playing it, if you're already playing it, then it doesn't count. But I guess what role would you like to play?
It's a fan film. Like you gotta get in the studio. You gotta get in the studio.
Oh, you want to be studio Batman? Be careful. They might get you a bad suit. I mean, it might be a Batman and Robin Batman. What if it's that?
Right. I could have like a package on my belt. You know what I mean? my underpants could have a built-in package.
It could have nipples on the suit for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah. In the wrong place.
Yes.
Just add a belly button onto my bat suit.
Man,
I can't.
I can't believe they did that. You know, that's. Oh. All right. Oh.
Well, you never know until you try, I guess.
Mm-hmm. You have to go through a phase.
About the hard way.
You have to go
This is
through a
true.
phase. Find out. Look back at it.
They were like,
at
it's
this point.
George Clooney. What could go wrong?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you
So
mentioned-
how challenging was it to get into acting, being that you didn't really have any experience, like once you're on screen?
Oh, gosh, you know,
Good question.
I feel like I've been so lucky. You know, I've told several people over the course of the last couple of years, like if I were to die tomorrow, I would feel so blessed because I feel like I've accomplished a lot more than some people accomplished in their entire like 30, 40 years of trying to make it in this industry.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I definitely owe a lot to my friends that have vouched for me and given me opportunities and stuck up for me. And so yeah, I couldn't give you an honest answer on how challenging it has been because I don't, for me, it doesn't feel like it's been a challenging situation at all. And I don't feel like I've had to jump hurdles that a lot of other people have to get there. And for me, like I feel successful. You know, I'm not a studio talent. I'm not a rich actor who's living, you know, on the beach somewhere. But you know, at the end of the month, my bills are paid, and I'm doing what I love to do. And to me, that makes me successful.
Man, and that's better than some, right? That's better than most. I mean, it sounds kind of modest right there. I mean, like humble even. I mean, you seem to understand.
You know,
you have perspective.
I've had friends who've, you know, lost their lives and trying to make it, and you know, I guess I realize how easily it could be taken away, and so I try not to get ahead of myself. And you know, sometimes it costs me. Like I get taken advantage of. Of course, it's, you know, it's a business and an industry where people are trying to get a lot for little. And at the end of the day, if I'm doing what I want to do and I'm not hurting someone, you know, doing it, and I can live with being compromised.
Right.
So.
And so acting just kind of came naturally for you, as far as.
You know, my private coach, he coached Adrian Brody in his younger days, and that's probably his most successful actor that he coached. And he told me that he thought I was way better than Adrian Brody, and you know, he compared me to like a Paul Newman kind of actor. So
no way, that's cool.
Yeah, I take that as a big compliment for sure. And, you know, I obviously didn't spend thousands of dollars going to theater school and whatnot. So, you know, I guess you would be right in saying that there's some natural talent there.
Right. No, definitely.
So are you going to get your pianist role? Is that what I'm hearing?
You know what? We could do some sort of parody to it for sure. I'm sure there's a parody laying there somewhere.
Is that what's coming on with Lady Killer TV? Is there going to be a parody?
Well, we do have some more in the works. I think we're going to get into The Hills Have Eyes and Hellraiser and Candyman.
Okay. Let's talk about Lady Killer TV real fast. For those who don't know what it is, what is it?
So Lady Killer is it's basically a soft-core kind of erotica spin off of classic and infamous horror scenes, where we've brought in some adult female talent and basically turned them into the killers and kind of take out the killers as we know them and the normal versions.
Okay. So they're the killers. They're the ones that are doing the killing with with like Jason Voorhees and Michael Myers. They're the one they're getting hunted down. They're being slayed.
Yeah, essentially that's what's going to end up happening to them. We obviously kind of draw it out over the course of a few episodes, but essentially that's the gist.
That's pretty cool. All right. And where does it air at? Like, where can people find Lady Killer?
Well, it premieres tomorrow actually on Pornhub. I think we're premiering our Friday the 13th episodes in lieu of Halloween and all that stuff coming up. So I'm not exactly sure what we're going to do with it after that. I do know that we have our premiere at the Palms Casino here in Las Vegas on the 23rd, and then that's actually a feature-length film that we did. It's kind of a separate thing as a standalone with the episodes. So not 100% sure. That's going to be something you'll have to ask Mr. Jeremy Spencer next week.
Yeah, right.
Oh, we definitely will.
We will. Now on this, you worked with. There's a lot of talent here, especially with adult stars. I gotta know some of these people, not personally, of course. Tori Black, Nicole Aniston, Adriana. I can't say Chichek. I don't.
Chechik. Yeah.
Oh man, Nikki Benz, Bella Danger. Okay. How was it working with these lovely ladies? Now I just have an excuse to put them on the screen now. Okay, so what else am I do?
Yes. It was great actually. Having not really worked, in that spectrum or that field much. I kind of had reservations on like, what am I getting myself into? How are they? But they were all great. So professional and just super easy to work with. And they once they saw what we were doing and how great it looked, they were just like all for it. And they're all like, I want to come back and be in more episodes. And this is great. Can you kill me this way next time?
Yeah,
and
that's cool.
So yeah, it's something kind of out of their realm. So I think it was something new and exciting for them to be able to, I guess, get aroused about.
Okay, and was it intimidating?
No,
a little bit?
not at all. No? Me personally, like I don't have a lot in the way of sexual scenes with them. Mm-hmm. For me, it was just me trying to kill them for the most part. I had a couple, but no, super, super easy to work with. And obviously it's all simulated. We are wearing clothes and all that good stuff. So no, it was great. And the sets were super professional as we could make them. Our saying on set was forever 14, just because we act like a bunch of 14-year-olds.
Right. Okay. Man, I'm digging this. Yeah. I'm digging this thing. I'm telling you what. I know I told you this before we went live, but like I said, back in the day, I used to work at Blockbuster, and when the big release would come out, let's say like Pirates of the Caribbean or whatever, they would also have the porno version or the softcore version of it that come out like maybe at the same time, maybe a few days earlier. I just remember that time because people would actually rent the softcore porn version and actually say that was more enjoyable than the actual movie. It was parody. And I watched it myself. I was like, yeah, I could see why. It's funnier. It's better. It doesn't take.
Well, steering away from what most people think our society is like these days, and I'm not going to get into politics and all that stuff,
yeah,
but
we don't.
there are still people out there with a sense of humor, thank God. And
Right.
For me, it's like I love making people laugh, and I love comedy, and so anytime I get a chance, even they tell me when doing drama, like if you can find humor in something, to try to find humor in it and play it. And so I think that we need entertained, and those people that love the horror, and then there's people that love comedy, and when you can combine both, it's like it's gold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's perfect for sure.
Yeah, and so that's when I was brought into Lady Killer. I was like, yeah, and I thought it was just going to be for like one episode, and then Jeremy approaches me and says, I want to kind of keep this kind of like a Saturday Night Live kind of skit cast kind of thing. So next thing I know, I'm like every episode of the show, sometimes playing two characters in the same episode. Obviously, when I play Michael Myers, I also play one of the paramedics who's sewing Michael Myers back up. So it's been great, and so those guys, we all have the same sense of humor, and we just all get along, and it's just our other jokes we've got on set is like we always have ding dongs on at Crafty. It's like gotta have ding dongs.
So you don't have to worry about any joke police coming onto the set, be like, no guys, it's too far, let's be tame, guys. No. Okay. That's good.
And in fact, like I feel like Jeremy would tell him to fuck off.
Good. Good.
And,
I can't wait to talk to that guy.
Yeah.
I think we'll get along. I don't know. I have a funny feeling.
Yeah, he's all about having a good time, and he loves 80s horror too, and so
that's good.
It's been a godsend for me to be on that set and work with him, and no place I'd rather be, actually.
Mm-hmm. So what killers do you play? I know you said Michael Myers. What else do you play?
I play Michael. I play Freddy Krueger, or in our parody version, I play Eddie Luger.
Eddie Luger. Okay.
Yes. And Michael's actually, his name is Mikhail.
Mikhail.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It seems feminine. I think Mikhail Myers.
They should have made him, Spanish or Mexican or something. Miguel.
I don't know. Maybe he's gay now. In this one, he's like, I don't know.
Right. It might post up for sure.
His jumpsuit's rainbow or something. It's like, oh, okay. You guys are progressive. I get it. Mikhail came out of the closet. There you go.
Yeah,
nothing wrong with that.
There you go. And he literally does come out of the closet.
You see?
Yes, he does.
Man, I just realized so much about what that means now. In the very first Halloween, Michael Myers spares Laurie Strode because she's in the closet. He doesn't want to go into the closet. He's like, no, I'm done with that life. I'm free now.
He's like, I'm not going back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no words.
Okay, who's better, Michael Myers or Freddy?
I've always been kind of a Michael Myers fan. Don't get me wrong. I like in playing Freddy, like I definitely didn't pull any stops on his cheesy witticisms.
Oh, yeah,
there's, dealing with sexual situations.
Yeah.
There's a time that pop up, and Freddy's like, "Oh, how about a hand job?" Of course. And then I think there's in one of the scenes. I'm not sure that they kept it. I haven't seen all the final versions, but there's one where Adriana takes off running through the house, and just in character, I blurt out, "I love it when they get the runs."
Mm-hmm. Love it when they get the runs. That's good.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's good. Yeah. I'm pretty sure they kept it, and one of the producers was telling me that when they were doing like the pre-screenings just to get feedback, like everyone's favorite line was, "I love it when they get their runs." So I hope it stayed. Yeah.
Oh,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, working with such beautiful talent like that, was there any problems of people being weird about boundaries?
No, and that's one of the great things that with actually, there was one problem. We had a guy that came to do Crafty, and it was his first day, and I think Tori was on set that day, and the guy had been like taking videos and posting them on Instagram and sending them to his friends, and we busted him like within a short period of time and basically let him go on set, but. That was the only issue, and he wasn't like a permanent part of the family, if you will.
Yeah.
Michael Stu and his crew, and Jeremy's pretty good about being sure of who he brings in on set to make sure that everyone's professional and there to do their job. And those guys, you couldn't ask more of them.
That's good.
There was definitely a lot of blood and a lot of just everyone was just like, you know what, let's do this, and everyone was like, okay, let's do it.
All right.
I opened up my mouth a few times with some ideas for kills on set, and I was just being funny, and Jeremy was like, nope, we're doing it. I'm like, okay, fuck me, yeah.
What was the most creative kill? I don't want to reveal too much, but if you give us a hint, what was the most, I guess, creative kill?
Well, I will implore you to ask yourself if you've ever seen a tiny person flying through the air with a gonzo-sized dildo attached to him.
What was he, like a tiny man? Like
yes.
Like a hunchback or something?
Like mini-me. like mini-me. Yes. Flying through the air.
That's awesome.
Yes, like a gonzo-sized dildo strap-on.
Oh, I have to see that.
Yeah. And that was one of my stupid blurred out moments that I was just joking, and Jeremy was like, nope, it's happening.
I like that. That's good.
That's fucking awesome.
I gotta check this out, man. This is so cool. And so it starts off with the Friday the 13th camp, I guess, Camp Crystal Lake stuff.
Well, yeah, it's I think it's Camp Blood Sex.
Camp Blood Sex. Okay.
Blood Sex.
All right. Are they on that period or something?
It's not Jason Voorhees. It's Mason Horsleys.
Oh my God, you're killing me.
Yeah, well, that's Jeremy's brain working for you.
I like it.
Yeah.
That's great.
Wait. Oh man. So what are the after parties like with this crew? Is it
well, when we were shooting, it was we were working so diligently. Like we've never really taken the time to have a celebratory moment.
Oh.
So I do believe on the 23rd we are going to have our rap party.
A rap party.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So I can let you know after that.
Okay.
Yes, please do.
Very interesting. Okay. All right. Well, let's see. I mean, man, LadyKillerTV, man, that's awesome stuff. That's gonna
be great.
You got a favorite porn star? I'll think about that right now.
I don't have a favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I will say in working on Lady Killer, I've gotten to spend a lot of time with Tori, and she isn't anything that you would picture, like knowing what she does for a living and seeing her perform. Like she's so creative and she's such an educated and bright young mother, and she's just been awesome. Like she and I chat every now and then.
There's a stigma with porn stars that they're not bright and all that, but quite a few of them actually have a PhD. Quite a few of them actually have a pretty good education. They know exactly what's going on. They know what they're doing, and it's like an industry that's looked down upon because of a bunch of prudes and whatever. But it's like, and not even Hollywood even treats it as like, is that right? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but is it still true that Hollywood kind of looks down upon it?
Yeah, I mean, I got a buddy that he did some softcore stuff back in the late '90s for HBO, and he got shut down and turned down for a couple of things because he had done it. And I would say it's probably a little looser nowadays, but it's definitely
Hollywood needs to loosen it up.
Early though, because I was gonna get into like special effects makeup and stuff like that, and got asked to do makeup on a set like that, and everyone's like, don't do it, because if you want anything in Hollywood, you'll get turned down. And that was just a couple years ago.
Yeah, and that's so weird because I mean, you look at Hollywood, and they are typically more towards a liberal kind of viewpoint or standpoint. They're a little more forgiving in that department, and for them to kind of also turn their nose away is weird, but hey, it is what it is, and it's all art. And like I said, I just in talking with Tori, I think she's kind of become my favorite, not because of her on-screen activity, but who she is as a human being.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I like hearing about projects like this because it gives them a chance to kind of like branch out of just what they're known for, and they could do more stuff and have more fun in doing it. And people,
oh my gosh, yes, absolutely. And I think that was one of the things that in talking with Tori on set, like she was having a blast, and I think it really opened up her mindset and her eye to like, this is what I want to be doing. I would rather be doing this. And she was awesome, like super talented. Like she could easily have a career in mainstream acting. Mm-hmm. She's a brilliant, and I think that it's kind of changed her perspective on what her outlook on her career is, and
well, and I know you.
It's definitely a chance for them to branch out.
And you might not be able to say it, but I'll say it. With the movies that Hollywood's producing now, they need to loosen up because they need more talent. They need something. They need better ideas because these reboots, and the same movies coming out. It's like, come on, guys. I need some fresh blood.
I know. No, I 100% agree with you. And I just saw a trailer yesterday for Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Dolittle.
Oh, God. Why is he doing that? Why is he doing that?
Why are they doing that in general? Like, just stop.
How did he convince him to do it, though? I mean, he already has fuck you money, right? He doesn't need to do anything. Does he owe taxes or something? Why is he
who knows?
He got back on drugs? I mean, I don't even want to make that joke, man. He got clean and sober. He's...
Hey, talking about reinventing your career,
I guess, man. You go from Iron Man to Dr. Dolittle. Wow. Well, that's it for him.
I mean, that or he's free enough to not care what other people think, and he's just like, what? I just want to create movies. I mean, that's kind of how I feel. People tell me, "Oh, you shouldn't do this," or "You should work on branding your career." I'm just like, hey, I just want to make movies, man. Like, if my bills are paid every month, I'm a happy cat.
There's truth to that. I mean, but he also got burned out on Iron Man. He wanted to leave, from what I understand.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, yeah, he wanted to leave a couple movies ago.
Yeah, so he left for this, for Dr. Dolittle. There must be
maybe
kids.
It'll be a good movie. Don't knock it.
I'm not knocking it. I know I am, but I'll watch it. I'll watch it with my kids.
There you go. And then you'll find out it's some sadistic sort of version of Dr. Dolittle.
Mm-hmm. And then there'll be a porno version of it later on.
Oh, you're getting into bestiality now.
I don't know, man. I've been looking at these other parodies out there. Like, there's a whole list. With 10-inch Mutant Ninja Turtles? 10-inch Mutant Ninja Turtles. Dad, I have not seen that one. Have you seen that?
Well, I mean, I guess that's better than 10-inch Mutant Ninja Turd holes.
Right. I mean, that's crazy.
I can't be mad at 10 inches.
That's a spread.
And then you got like Pornhub premieres Full Hose, like Full House, but Full Holes. Okay. Okay.
Oh my god, I can't.
Oh my gosh.
Mighty Muffin Pounder Rangers.
Yes.
Oh.
Oh man.
Oh god.
That's
wow.
awesome.
I wish they just had an entire lineup of like TGIF spinoffs.
That'd be great. Let's see, does it get more Fap to the Future?
Oh no.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
Oh,
That's
god.
great.
I think that might break it. Yeah. Of course, you have your Star Wars XXX and shit like that, but yeah.
Right.
Crazy stuff. So, one thing I've been asking my guests lately is, you got a paranormal experience?
I do, and let me tell you, I didn't realize it was a paranormal experience until 20 years after the fact. Yes, absolutely. So when I was 7, my father and my stepmother had purchased a new house, in my hometown, and it just so happened that my brother and I shared a bedroom, which was the attic of the house, and so we slept upstairs in the attic. And there was one night I woke up and there was this lady standing at the foot of my bed. She had a white dress on and she had red hair, and I just screamed bloody murder and covered my face back up and was just bawling my eyes out until my stepmother came up and she's like, oh, it's just a bad dream. And I was like, you can come sleep with us. So I went down to get in the bed with them. Fast forward to I was 27 and I had gone back home for a visit, and I had taken my girlfriend at the time, and so we were talking about me as a kid. Of course, my stepmother was trying to embarrass me.
Yeah.
And so she brought up that experience, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, Mark, that whole experience that you had on the house on the west side." And I was like, do I? Yeah, I remember that very well. And she was like, well, there was something I never told you. And I was like, oh fuck, here we go. And so apparently on purchasing the home, the real estate agent is obligated to tell you when someone has died in the house.
Yeah.
Right.
And apparently the previous owners, the guy's wife, hung herself in the attic in her wedding dress.
Oh my god.
She committed suicide in the attic in her wedding dress. So I'm like, to this day, I'm convinced 100% that was the lady that was staring at me that night.
That might be.
For sure. That's crazy.
Was she wearing a dress?
Yeah. She was wearing a white dress when I
there
saw
you
her.
go.
And then she told me that she hung herself in her wedding dress. So I'm like, yeah, to me, that's 100% the lady I saw.
And how old were you when she saw you? Or when you saw her?
I was 7.
Okay. Man, if you were like 30, she might have tried to kill you. She might have thought you were the husband. Because I think we have a few ideas why she hung herself in her wedding dress, right?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
There was some extracurricular activity going on somewhere.
Yeah. Someone was dipping, someone was playing around on the side or whatever. Yeah. Brought something home. Got caught. Oh, shit.
But, and it scared the shit out of me, obviously. And
yeah, for sure.
To this day, I'm very salty that my stepmother waited 20 years to tell me.
Yes. So is that the only experience you've ever had?
Me personally, yes.
Yeah.
I will say my grandmother she was 100% Native American, and she was like very, very spiritual. And again, my father and my stepmother had built a house in this new place I think it was like 1990, and I think it was 94. I think it was 1994. my grandmother had come over to the house, and she was downstairs in the basement because they created like an entire floor in the basement, so it was all finished and done up. And she was talking about these black orbs that she was seeing down in the basement there, and it's grandma. Like, okay, whatever, grandma, you crazy bitch.
Grandma's off her meds now.
You're right. So, literally, this was 3 years ago. My little brother, who is he's 23 now, he shot me a message on Instagram, and he's like, "Hey, bub, can I ask you a question?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. What's up?" And he was like, "Have you ever seen any like black orbs like floating around in the basement?" Like, and I was like, "No, but funny you should ask, because your grandmother, like 25 years ago, mentioned seeing them right after we had finished building the house, but my little brother wasn't even born."
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. And so I thought that was kind of weird that he would just randomly bring it up, having not known that she said she saw them.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Those are the only two experiences that I've encountered.
So Tammy, sorry.
No, go ahead.
So Tammy, I don't know this, but she. Well, I don't know if I want to say an expert, but you have a lot of experience in the paranormal, right?
Yeah, since I was a kid, my whole life.
And you investigate this stuff.
I do.
What is the deal with the orbs? What is that?
Okay, so orbs and pictures, like a lot of people in the paranormal world think that that's the spirit, but a lot of the time, like in a photo, it's mostly like moisture in the air or an insect or a reflection. But I have myself seen orbs with my own eyes, like in a room. That's totally different.
Okay.
I would think that's more likely to be spirit energy than per se like in a photo or a video.
And this is different from like the frizzy dots you might see if you like, I don't know, if you pick up something really heavy, or if you stare at a light for a very long time and you look away, like the colorful little dots, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, I've seen like I don't know, like a basketball size, like white orb fly across the room. Like, so definitely different than that for sure. Black, that's kind of interesting. I've never seen any black orbs, but that would probably signify something a little darker.
That's what I would assume. But like I said, she was 100% Native American, like super spiritual, like chants and all.
Did she ever talk to you about a skinwalker?
She didn't, but we used to go to the local reservation and visit Uncle Jerry. And Uncle Jerry was
Jerry, huh?
Yeah, we just called him Uncle Jerry. I don't know what his
weed too.
name was.
Uncle Jerry sounds like he would have weed.
You're right. He certainly smoked from a pipe, I will tell you that.
See, how do I know that? Come on.
Yeah, but Uncle Jerry would tell us stories all the time too. So.
Okay.
Yeah, shapeshifters and all that are like really popular in that.
Yeah. I mean, that's
you can imagine we got a lot of buffalo nickels.
Buffalo nickels, cool.
We could get that was our Christmas and birthday gifts. Buffalo nickels.
All right.
Awesome.
Now, do you have a favorite horror movie?
Gosh, I get made fun of a lot for this, but I always go back to The Wizard of Oz.
The Wizard of Oz.
And a lot of people are like, "That's not a horror film." I'm like, if you go back and you really look at it,
yeah, it is.
Those flying monkeys, man, they scare the shit out of you.
Right, and you're killing witches.
Yeah.
I mean, everything about them. God, my first experience.
It's
watching
got a lot
the movie,
of dark
I was
undertones.
scared.
They're not in your face.
No, they're not. Unless of course it's a flying monkey, then that is in your face. But
yeah, I mean, the only thing that could make it worse is if they had huge Gonzo-sized strap-ons.
That would make it better.
That's probably already a porn parody. There's probably already
I'm
one.
gonna have to look this up.
Wizard of Oz porn parody. I'll Google it right now. I bet you it's in it.
I'm sure there's got to be a Wizard of Balls or something
Wizard
like
of
that.
Balls. Yeah.
But
you're right,
Wizard,
man.
Wizard of Oz.
I remember like watching that film even as a kid, and like the little things, even just the 4 characters walking on the yellow brick road, even that was kind of creepy and weird. Like the way, I don't know, just.
Oh, you throw Pink Floyd to it, it's a horror film all day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
for sure.
Ooh, what would be the best best Pink Floyd song for it?
Well, have you? I mean, you've heard the old adage or whatever that if you play the soundtrack, it goes right along with the movie, right?
Ah, that's right. I've been told that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you do it, it's pretty creepy, dude.
Okay, I gotta do that. Now, play it forward or backwards?
I think it's backwards.
You have to play it backwards.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to check that out. I'll have to do that. Okay. But yeah, that's definitely a horror movie right there. You got a favorite slasher?
Oh yeah, Michael Myers, Halloween all day.
Oh, see, look at that. Halloween. All right.
He knows what's up.
Uh-huh. I mean, Friday the 13th is good, but Friday the 13th didn't. To me, Friday the 13th didn't really become. It's like we know what we know until like when did Jason get his mask? It wasn't until like the 3rd or 4th.
I don't know. I felt like that was just way corny. I never like really got into the Friday.
God, Tammy G, like.
I'm just saying.
It wasn't
Don't be a
corny.
dick. I'm just saying my opinion.
Dude, the first one was not corny. I'll stand. The first one when you first watched it, you had no idea who was doing what, right? It was like, who's killing all these people? What's going on here?
It was his mom.
You didn't know that from the very beginning.
If you're smart, you did.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I will tell you, if you get a chance, there's a fan film called Never Hike Alone. It's done by Vincent DeSanti. It's a Friday the 13th fan film. It's on the circuit now, and he's getting a lot of great feedback. It's a great fan film, and it kind of gives a more like athletic kind of version of Jason, and I love it. And they have actually got enough money to make the sequel, and it's done very, very, very well.
Okay.
So
you say more athletic. You mean Jason's
I will.
like
I'll
running?
definitely check it out.
So Jason's running and chasing down these people.
I wouldn't say that he's necessarily running, but he's definitely quicker and more agile.
Okay.
In his movements,
and still as strong.
And Vincent's a tall fucking dude, so Jason is definitely he's got a different look to him. But it's great. I love it.
And that's one franchise right now that's like in like legal limbo right now, right? It's like legal hell.
It's like who owns it?
They can't really do much with it because there's that suit between the writer of the first film and I don't remember the other guy. It escapes me. I'll look it up later. But yeah.
Yeah, it's in a bad place, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Which sucks, man, because they had that Friday the 13th video game that was really good. I mean, it has flaws and stuff, and they pretty much had to discontinue it, like no updates.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, you have a lot of work. We haven't covered on everything that you've done, which I want to get to that in a little bit. But first, I have another question. Do you have a favorite monster, like horror monster?
Favorite horror monster? Oh, I'm an old soul, and I actually I was always fond of like Boris Karloff and Lon Chaney and those old classic monster movies. So, Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Oh yeah, that was good.
I'm a huge fan of black and white film. So obviously with Wizard of Oz being one of my faves too. You know, I could have easily went with Psycho. My favorite horror film.
I mentioned Wizard of Oz again. You know, someone who could make a really good monster would be the with the Tin Man. He'd make a fucking terrifying. Actually, I think all of them would make a terrifying monster, right? There's the Scarecrow guy. You got the Tin Man. You got the Lion, the Cowardly Lion. You know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could do a spin-off version of like each one of their like versions of the story of like how it happened and totally make it something dark.
Right? Like they make it all the way to the wizard, and he's like, "Fuck you! I'm not granting any wish." And then all of a sudden, or something happens, and like they just go dark. So next thing you know, you got the lion. He's ferocious and vicious and mean. He's haunting all those little village people and eating them. And you got the Tin Man who's like tearing. He's like, "You want a heart? You have to go get your heart." He's like, he's going in there. The Tin Man has to get a heart. He's gonna go find a heart. All right.
I know. I wouldn't mind seeing something a little more dark version of that.
See, I'm gonna give you some ideas. Scarecrow, you're doing his thing. Dorothy, she couldn't tap out. She had to stay and play in that nightmare.
Oh yeah,
yeah. There's no going back home for you, little girl. You're staying there. You watch that nightmare.
Yeah, she could be our survivor girl.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
yes.
I like that. I like that a lot.
She could end up being the Scream Queen.
That's cool. That's cool. So, what's that? What is it? Pool Massacre? What is that? What is that for?
Pool Party Massacre?
Yeah, Pool Massacre.
That was a little love letter horror film that Drew Marvick actually wrote and directed. It's kind of like it's almost a parody, I guess, if you will, to like 80s slashers. You know, it's some cheesy dialogue and practical gore and effects, cheesy effects, and basically all of the things that we found funny in 80s slashers films. He kind of incorporated into Pool Party Massacre with like, you know, the dead body falling out from behind the door and stuff of that nature, or like the stupid girl who runs upstairs to get away from the killer. And so, yeah, that was a fun little thing that Drew wrote and directed that he asked me if I'd be a part of, and basically I got to play the sporty jock guy. And
you got to play the jock. That's cool.
Yeah. And then of course I've got the dorky brother who tries to hit on all the ladies unsuccessfully. And so that's been a great run. It's got a lot of great feedback, and I know Drew had just recently put up a campaign to try to fund for a second one, and he not only met but well exceeded his goal, and so he's on his way to finishing up the script for the second one, which I'm more than likely going to be a part of, from what I hear. So I'm looking forward to that.
That is pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. I dig. I haven't seen the movie, but I dig that cover, that artwork right there, the Pool Party Massacre, the skull, with the sunglasses, the chick. It kind of has a They Live sort of vibe to it. And what is that? Slumber Time, what is that movie called?
It's a Slumber Party Massacre.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Camp Sleepaway.
Yeah.
I mean, those were all kind of inspirations that Drew kind of pulled from when he was writing the script, and as soon as he started putting stuff out, we got several pieces of artwork that were just great, and I know Drew kind of had a tough decision on what he was going to make as the final cover art, but you know, he had one that had I think it had the beach ball with the knife coming, kind of like the Halloween with the knife and the pumpkin. And several pieces of artwork that were just beautiful, and I wouldn't have wanted to been him to have to choose which one was going to be the final, but that cover is a great choice, and the color, and then when he actually put out some VHS perks. So there are like neon fluorescent colored VHS versions.
Wait, full on VHS? Like
full on, like full frontal, full on, yeah.
wait, hold on. Like you can actually get a VHS cassette tape of that
Yes.
movie. I didn't even know
Yes, you go to poolpartymassacre.com and they have like
That's
several
awesome.
different colors. Yeah.
Man, that's pretty cool. I didn't even know they made VHS cassettes anymore. It's crazy.
Who knows, man? We're all about the nostalgia.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But so I gotta check out that film for sure. I mean, what was that experience like, though? I mean,
It's I not worked with Drew a whole lot prior to that, but just being on set with him and you could see like his love for the genre, and it was just about having fun and
yeah,
he gave us a lot of leeway as far as characters and he obviously wanted us to come and put our 2 cents into the character, and it was a fun set. It was cold, shooting. I think we shot it and it was like March, so it was still pretty cool out. And oddly enough, there's only one person out of the entire cast that gets into the pool at the Pool Party Massacre.
okay.
So we were fortunate in that capacity, but it was nice and cold and windy when we were shooting for that, and obviously being in cutoff shirts and shorts and the girls in bikinis, we all struggled through, but it was fun. And I tell you, working with Nick Byers, who plays my goofy brother, that dude's he's comedy gold. And I would say like 75% of his dialogue in the movie was that's all Nick, just being Nick.
And you mentioned before that Alexis Adams was in that film, right? The porn star Alexis Adams.
Yes, she played my girlfriend, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had no idea who she was prior to working with her that day. And I remember the first scene, I walk up and I give her a kiss, and we joke around about having sex, and then jump to the next scene, and we're in the bedroom, and we're getting ready to do some kinky stuff. And I think it was like after the second take, somebody had mentioned who she was and what she does for a living, and I was like, oh man.
It's like you just kissed a pro. It's like
yeah. I was like, I thought that tasted like bologna. No. It was my first time ever working with someone from that industry, and obviously there's a lot of things that go through your head in that moment, and so I asked for a couple minutes to kind of debrief myself, and came back in prepared with the proper mindset, because when you're doing a bedroom scene with someone who does it professionally, and you're just supposed to pretend and make it look real, you feel like that they probably have some sort of expectation.
Yeah.
And
this was your first time because engaging and interacting with a porn star.
Yes.
And she wasn't in a porn star role. She was playing just
yeah,
a character in a film.
Playing one of the bitchy friends of the lead character, and I was her douchey jock boyfriend.
Yeah.
And so I had to have a little pep talk with myself, and we got through it.
Oh man, dude. All right. I don't know. Like, see, that takes training. Because at first, be like, oh man, I need to cool myself off. Oh, okay, huh. Or I'm good.
Yeah. Especially not knowing like what kind of area her expertise is in, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
So I had no idea, but since that day, when I get cast in something, I check out my co-stars.
That's good. That's good enough.
Yeah, yeah. So.
And how was she on set?
Process.
Was she a diva? Was she nice? I mean, was she like? I mean, how was her
Yeah,
attitude?
no, she was super chill.
Cool.
You know, even though it was cold, like she fought through, and you know, she wasn't like, oh, I need to be inside or I need a heater. You know, she just kind of bared through it with the rest of the girls that were out there, and at least from what I know, I was only on set a couple of days, but you know, she seemed pretty chill to me.
That's good. That's good. You got to be relaxed. You take it with her experience. God, that's. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I never worked porn before, and I've also never acted before. I don't know which one's easier. You know, I don't know which one would be an easier role. Faking like you're having sex or playing a character. You know, like.
Yeah, and maybe that was her thought process. You know, is she was in a different world of her own, so she was just kind of nervous too. I don't know, but maybe that was kind of her mindset as well. She was probably just as thrown off as I was. I don't know.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. So, oh man, you got a lot of movies. What is another one of your favorites?
Goodness. I mean, anything horror related are fun ones, for sure. And I just found out yesterday, one of the horror films is called Scare Me that I worked on. We're having a premiere on the 29th at the Tropicana Theaters here in Las Vegas.
Scare Me.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a fun one. It was kind of a different concept, and pretty sure, like, I don't want to give any spoilers away, but I'll be back in the second one for that. But Don't Fuck in the Woods too.
Fuck in the Woods too.
Yeah.
Yeah, my girl Brandy was in the first one.
Yeah, she was.
No shit, huh?
Also in the second one as well.
Oh, that's awesome! I love her.
Yeah. You know, obviously you can imagine with the title "Don't Fuck in the Woods," it hit the internet pretty well, and I think I was just talking to Sean Burkett, who was the director, and he was saying they were doing a search, and it was like one of the top like 3 or 4 most pirated films of last year.
Well, yeah, the internet loves it. They're gonna find a way.
It was a good film. I liked it.
Yeah. I've seen the first one, and I will say that the second one is definitely a level up on the production value side. It's going to look great. You know, obviously with Brittany Blanton coming back, and we added in a couple of other horror actors, and Caleb Williams, and then Jason Crow, and that was a blast. And I think we just finished our pickup shots for that last month, and so we're looking to have a trailer out for that here in the next month or so. I got a little teaser preview a couple weeks ago, and then it looks great. So I'm excited for that one for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like that. And I like these, like I said before, I like these projects that ride the line between horror and porn, or between comedy and porn too. I like that. It draws the attention. And it's like, okay. But it also lets people know it's going to be funny. Like, you're going to go in there and have a good time and be entertained. It's not going to take itself too seriously or at all. It's fun. And we need more of that.
Yeah. I completely agree with you.
Speaking of campy, are you a fan of The Evil Dead?
Not. I mean, I never really got into it.
Oh man, I'm surprised. If you like campy stuff,
Yeah, I mean, I've got a few friends that did Evil Dead the musical here in Vegas, and it's fun. It's just it was. I think it was a little. I was a little young for it.
probably maybe.
So I never got to really fully appreciate the campiness of it. I was, like I said, I was more into the actual horror side of things. So watching Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street and Halloween and stuff like that when I was growing up, I was just like, I love terrifying myself.
Yeah, I mean, it started off. The first one was kind of like horror, but the second one's kind of more like comedy camp, and it definitely got more campy later on. The only reason I ask is because I don't know if you ever watched that with Ash vs. the Evil Dead, dude. That shit is like fucking campy and great.
Yeah, it's super campy.
Yeah. Who has a cat?
It's my cat. I'm trying to get him out of my room.
Your pussy's there?
My pussy is in here and it's making a lot of noise.
Is it very hairy?
No, it's shaved.
Oh, it's shaved?
Shut up.
Okay. That's good that you shave. Shave your cat, Tammy? Okay.
No. Moving on.
Moving on. So, what's your aspiration? What is your plan now? Like, what do you want to do? What do you want to achieve?
Well, each year I like to kind of step it up a little bit. I'm in talks with the producers and directors here in Vegas to do a short stint at a show called Tournament of Kings. It's kind of like a medieval, like Renaissance knight, kind of gladiator kind of thing for a short run, and then ultimately I would love to get on in the movie theaters and do kind of a bigger box office film, and but I'm not in any rush. I'm thoroughly enjoying the ride in indie filmmaking, and if this is what it ends up being for the rest of my life, like I said, as long as my bills are paid, I'm having fun, man. So you can't take that away from me.
Okay, and that's one thing. You're an indie filmmaker, and it's paying your bills. Is there a secret to that? Like, is it hard work? What is it?
Well, I don't want to say what I'm doing will work for everyone, because we all have our different roadmaps. There are a ton of actors out there that look like me that may not have what I have on camera, or they may look better than me and be terrible actors, or great actors and look terrible. So we all kind of have our own thing that we're good at doing, and our own, I guess, roadmap. But I would say that I went to college for business, and so I sort of had a business mindset before I even got into this. But one of the first things that I did as an actor was I started trying to branch out outside of Vegas, and so I would go to like Arizona or California or even Tennessee and work on a project. As long as it was enough to cover my travel, or if they were going to cover my travel and not pay me to be there, I would go do it. For me, that's that's like paid marketing. And what I ultimately had ended up doing was creating a larger circle of network for myself. And so, now I've got people in, Florida or Louisiana or Tennessee that are like, hey, this guy's talented and he's professional. If you're looking for somebody, he's good. And so that was one of the first things that I had done. And then secondly was, as actors, we're always looking for an opportunity. And for me personally, I love character acting. And so what I kind of started doing was trying to find these character roles that I could jump into. And even if like I said, they weren't paying, I would go do them just so I would have stuff on a demo reel and video that I could walk into a casting office and say, look, I know you see me as a jock or a leading man or military or whatever when I walk into the casting office, but hey, I can also do this, and be able to give them a different look and and I guess more range of my capabilities, and kind of, I guess, creating more spaghetti to throw against the wall, if you will.
Yeah,
and,
makes sense.
And for me, that's.
See, I like this because, on this show we've had several filmmakers on and indie filmmakers, and they'll talk about their struggle on trying to get their films out there. And I'm sorry.
Even today, I had a guy email me, and
we're breaking up. For some reason, you're cutting in and out. Are you still there?
Oh, weird. Yeah,
that must be just a lost signal. It happens sometimes on Skype. But well, pretty much what I was getting at is I like that you diversify, that you act and you also filmmake, which I think that kind of helps you. It sounds like. Has there been any hurdles or struggles that you had to get through via like distribution, getting your film out there?
I mean, obviously distributors want to make money, and so they're always looking for a name, and there have been some issues, and I don't necessarily deal with getting distribution on that side of things as a producer, but in regard to kind of diversifying, what I do in filmmaking, you're exactly right, and it's been very opportunistic, I guess. If you get out there and you start creating your own content and people see it, and then they realize, oh, you wrote this, oh, you directed this, oh, and you acted, like it's kind of eye-opening to people, and they start giving you more opportunities because they believe in your cause and what you're capable of doing. But in regard to distribution, I mean, it's always a tough situation because those guys are just looking to make money, and that's business. So there are certain markets that a certain horror film or a certain drama will work in that won't work in others, and so you get a lot of turn downs, and then you get a lot of people that are willing to do it, but then they basically want to take every penny that's available. So
I see.
But definitely some hurdles.
And do you make more on the acting side or the actual like filmmaking side?
To be honest with you, I have done very well as an actor. And which is great because that's where most of my passion is. I feel more comfortable in front of a camera than I do human beings, and it's kind of weird, but that's the case. I've done extremely well. I've been fortunate enough to get a couple of decent sized commercials here in the last couple of years, and that's kind of afforded me the opportunity to not have to worry about finances as much.
It's nice.
That's great.
Hey, Tammy, you got any questions?
Not off the top of my head.
Oh, okay. Just making sure. Be kind of quiet. Hopefully
I'm just listening.
Mansplaining too much over here. Just spreading too much, Damn.
You're good.
She's over there choking her cat.
I am. How did you know?
I can smell it.
You could smell it. Oh,
no,
man.
I'm just starting to lose my voice.
And looking at the chat real fast, Timothy Olson asked, is there anyone ever going to do a parody of Friday the 13th? Well, actually, there is a porn parody of Friday the 13th, and you can check it out on LadyKillerTV on Pornhub tomorrow. Isn't that right?
That is correct. Pornhub exclusive.
Now, do you have to?
It's free.
It's free. Okay, that's okay. So you don't have to be a member of Pornhub. You don't like pay. I don't know what it is. I always see the ads, but I never take the bait. I'm just like porn.
I was actually on there today, just kind of checking the views on the trailer for Lady Killer. Wink, wink.
Timothy Olson, an actual parody, not a porn parody. Oh, I'm sorry. It's still a parody. Oh, come on. It's still a parody, bro.
You can't be picky. Stop being picky.
An actual parody. An actual parody. I mean, there'd be like one of those like not another horror movie. I don't know. It seemed like you should be able to do it, but they have to be careful with licensing. In fact, that's my question for you. I don't know if Spencer would be able to answer it better. Is how do y'all get around like I guess trademarks and copyright and stuff like that?
Well, because it's marketed as a parody, we're free of all that. I think we have to be careful with music. So Jeremy, obviously having been in a band, he's done like a lot of the music and stuff for Lady Killer, which is great.
Yeah, that's good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that dude's pretty badass. Oh,
yes,
it's no problem, Timothy. It's no problem. I just mess with you. Let's see.
Damn it, Timothy, get your poop in a group.
Dude, at this point, Timothy, man, like I'm chill. Like, there's nothing you can say that's really gonna mess with me. Let's see. I wonder. Like, I think you already answered this. Like, your call to act. Like, were you that kid that always wanted to like be other things? Like you'd have like a lot of imagination, or whatever. Were you that kid?
I grew up in the country, so there was a lot of the time it was as soon as I got home, it was do your homework, and then I had to go outside. I wasn't allowed to be in the house, and so I had to find activities to, I guess, kind of keep myself entertained. So there was a lot of imagination.
Oh yeah.
I had a wood burning kit. I had a microscope. I had a telescope. I had erector sets. So I was, and then I also had 87 acres of woodlands to go and play. So we build tree houses, and we actually built haunted like trails throughout the woods. Just when we brought friends over, we'd fuck with them.
Oh, I love it. That's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was a lot of imagination, and I kind of miss a lot of today's generations having that opportunity to use more of that side of their brain.
You know what? I try to do that with my kids. Like, you guys are on the Xbox too much or tablets too much. Let's put them away. Let's go outside. We're gonna play. We're gonna be playing. Oh, now we're gonna play. My daughter, she's only 3. She's all for it. She wants to go outside. She'd rather just throw the ball around. My son, he's kind of getting where he just wants to play Minecraft. And like, no, son, we're going to go outside. We're going outside, damn it. We're playing. We'll run around.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like, I had a Nintendo and a Game Boy and an Atari. And I had, I got to play on that stuff. But for the most part, it was just a little bit of everything, just keeping me kind of well-rounded.
Right? It's a balancing act. And I grew up on the NES as well. In fact, I was that kid that would rather just play video games all day than go outside. So when I see my son do that, I'm like, I know exactly kind of like the building of what's happening here. So I just want to make sure, like, hey, you know what? All the neighborhood kids are playing outside, and you like those guys. You like them. Come on, let's go outside and play. I don't want to. It's like, you're all right. Your sister's going out, and then you're gonna miss out and all this stuff. I don't even give them that chance. I'm just pretty much, you kind of have to.
Yeah, well, I mean, with the world is evolving, and with technology and culture, and we kind of have to evolve too. It's just, I just remember what it was like for me as a kid to be able to go out and not really have boundaries, like with my imagination, and kind of just finding ways to entertain myself.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, Mark Justice, this has been good, man. I enjoyed talking to you. We talked about a whole lot.
Likewise.
Talked about your work. Man, I really digging LadyKillerTV. Kind of spent a good majority talking about that, and some gutter jokes came out. But
That's
good
right.
stuff.
As they should.
Man. So yeah, man, feel free to come on anytime if you have a new projects and develop. Feel free to give us a word. We'll come back on. We can do this again, ladies and gentlemen. If you made it this far, press the like button, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Y'all take it easy.